how do you define excessive force? Let's hear from Mr. Boyd. We'll work our way down.
So how do we define excessive force? Well, as a district attorney, you define it by what the law that's given to you, how they define it, and your ethical obligations. That's how it works. There is no charge. There's a big misunderstanding in the community about whether or not there's a charge called excessive force. You'll hear, well, the DA never has charged anybody with excessive force. That's true, because there is no charge called the use of excessive force. What it is charging somebody with an assault, second-degree assault, or a third-degree assault, which is in excess of self-defense, right? So you have the charge of assaulting somebody, you have somebody's right to utilize self-defense, and then what it is the charge is the self-defense that or the defense that was utilized when it was unreasonable or was in excess of that. That is
Thank you, sir.
more legal way of saying it. That's the reality of it.
So, Mr. Boyd is right that Colorado law defines when the DA is bring a charge. And what's complicated about it is because, first of all, you have to decide if the assault occurred, but then there's special statutes that apply only to peace officers that define their ability to use force. And that is an extra hurdle that prosecutors have to take. And it's something that we need to think about, the General Assembly needs to think about whether that's an appropriate thing to do. But I tell you, one of the ways I know how do I define excessive force, one of the ways is Deputy Lovington with Mr. Wallace, who was a shackled inmate trying to ask the judge a question, was slammed into a wall with 3 deputies standing right there. And no charges were brought. Judge Byrd, white cracks in front of her. She was the judge. She filed a complaint for the DA's office. And I think that really caused a problem. But the other thing is now that the deputy is thrown against the wall, but the 3 other deputies right next to him gave a statement and said, keep them. That's a problem.
So I'm glad Michael raised that case because I was actually in the courtroom when Judge Martinez ruled that the district attorney's office should have filed an assault case in that case. And I absolutely agree with them. That is a video you can watch. There's no question that an assault took place. Our Denver DA's office did not file it, and the court said, you should have filed it. So, and then there's also the case of Tim Ford, sheriff's deputy, who got up and basically punched an inmate, knocked him to the ground. That was not filed. That was clear on the video. So we need to be making sure that the message is clear from the DA's office that violations of the law will not be tolerated. Excessive force will not be tolerated. This is a message that needs to be loud and clear to the law enforcement community as well as to the community at large, because the community at large is feeling that this is not happening. And I hear it all over the city.
Thank you. Now I know I'm in black church, but you just yell out in the pews and get your answer. It's Sunday morning up here now.
Excessive force excessive force, in my opinion, is force that is not lawfully justified. The thing that I am seeing across Colorado and across the nation is people's tolerance for what is legally and not legally justified is going way down, and that is a good thing. People are paying attention to how we need to respond to issues of mental illness, addiction, and other items when the police respond. So again, the question is, what is it? It's force that is lawful. But I truly think that that is changing, and that there will be juries that will be hearing cases in the next 20 years that 30 years ago would have said, that's what you get to do if you wear a uniform. And people have said, enough, you don't get to do it.
Question. Please direct your question toward candidate.
Two, I've asked, I'll let my there mention this. What can the DA's office do with the authority to shift from the criminal justice system to the mental health system?
Thanks for the question, Morris. So, mental health is a huge issue in the criminal justice system. Our system is becoming a place to warehouse those with mental health issues, which is not what the criminal justice system is supposed to be doing. So, I propose having additional effort made toward identifying people early on in the system who have mental health issues and providing alternatives to them rather than going through the criminal justice system, being put in a probation situation where they can receive the kind of treatment that they need. Our resources are better spent doing that instead of putting them into prison. We have passed a bill to prohibit the use of solitary confinement for those with mental health.
Thank
It's
you.
just a very beginning step.
Thank you.
We have to stop arresting our way out of mental health issues, trying to do that. So here's what we do.